Hello and welcome to today's video. Today's video comes to you from the worldwide headquarters of Michael Sladek Photography. Welcome, so glad you're here. So today's video is all about 11 of my favorite YouTube photographers. Thought I'd share a little bit about them in case you didn't know about them, give you some more options and perspectives on ways to do photography. That's why I watch them. All of these folks have something in common for me, and what that is I learn, I'm inspired, I'm entertained, and I feel like I'm not necessarily alone in both the creative endeavor of photography and this whole YouTube life thing that happens. Another thing they all have in common, I think, is they are all people I would be tickled to have a meal with, to sit down, chat about photography, chat about life, chat about perspectives. So I just think they're amazing human beings, and if you don't already know about them, I think you should. And one way you can help them is once you find if you like their video, binge their channel, watch a bunch, like a bunch, subscribe a bunch. Well, you only need to subscribe once, and write comments. It's both helpful to the algorithm when you share a comment, but even more important than being helpful to the algorithm is it's helpful to the person who's creating it to know they're making a difference. So there you go. Let's take a look at these folks. I'll share briefly about my experience with their channel, why I like them, and then you can make your own decision whether you go there or not. I will include links to all in the description below. And speaking of the below part of life, if you would like to share a YouTube channel you think I should know about, other people should know about, please leave that in the comments as well. I'm always on the lookout for fresh perspectives, and YouTube is a great place to find that. I made a similar video to this, the same title, 11 favorite YouTube photographers, about a year and a half ago. And of the 11 photographers on this year's list, 4 are new. 4 are new to me, new in discovery in the past year and a half, which means I had to make space somewhere. And so some people, I just don't watch their videos as much. Seasons and cycles of life. So anyway, let's get started with the list, and we will get started in kind of no particular order, but a little bit of an order. So here's the first one, and that is Sean Tucker. So Sean Tucker's channel is the place I go when I want to think more deeply about photography, when I need photography church, for want of a better phrase. That place you go where you dig for the deeper connections to your art and why you do it. Sean makes videos about every other week or so and releases those, and he's been doing this for a while. He's one of my favorites, and in addition to his videos, he's also written a book called The Meaning in the Making, and it's just a lovely book, not huge by any means, but it's deep. The first time I read this book, I read it in the morning as part of a kind of a daily meditation kind of time, a quiet time. And it's a great way to start your day or end your day or go through your whole day. Anyway, it's a great little book. I highly recommend it. Buy it from your local neighborhood bookstore if you can. It's just a good thing to do. If you're going to buy this online in the US, you can buy through bookshop.org, and they will give a portion of the proceeds to a local brick and mortar bookstore. So a good thing. So additionally, for Sean, he generally publishes a book each year. He's also available on a podcast called Deep Natter with Jeffrey Sidoris, which I will also link below. Really good once a week podcast to think about photography, creativity, more about creativity in general and the life creative. So Sean Tucker is a good place to start if you want to dig deeper into creativity, thinking about it, what it means to your life, how do you sustain it, why do you do it, and how it impacts others. A really good place to start. Next, we have Thomas Heaton. And Thomas Heaton, I think, is probably one of the first ones I discovered about 4 or 5 years ago when I started digging into YouTube as a place to be learning about photography, discovering new voices and perspectives. Thomas is in the UK, I believe on the kind of eastern, northern part, I think in Yorkshire area. He publishes videos once a week or so, and his focus is landscape photography, going out, sharing the journey, showing the process, and just some amazing photos. He has a very much a minimalist style, which I'm a big fan of. And again, he's just a really interesting person. I enjoy watching him. My wife has a crush on him, I think, which is I'm okay with. He's a nice guy. So another person that I've learned a lot from about not necessarily tips and tricks. None of these channels are about tips and tricks. They're about, I think, another layer deeper into the whys and the how do you sustain and keep going. So Thomas is a good voice for that. I highly, highly recommend him. So one of the things a lot of these folks will have in common, you'll notice, is they live in the UK and they have a beard. So the next up on the bearded Englishman list is James Popsys. James is up in Wales. He releases videos about once a week or so as well. A lot of times it's local travel in his neighborhood, but he also does some international and other trips. He leads trips. I really like his personality. He's fun. And he's got some good insights, some good little tips and ideas in the midst of a broader take a look at what I'm working on today and join me in the journey. So another fun photographer that I really enjoyed learning from, entertained by, inspired by, highly, highly recommend. I guess I highly recommend all these, so I'll stop doing that. Next up after James is Joe Allam. Joe is new to the list this year for me. So I'm not sure exactly how I discovered Joe. I don't remember exactly. I think it was on some audio walkthrough he was doing on his studio setup, and since then I've really come to appreciate his photography style, his process. He does a lot of street photography, walk around in London. He also goes to Asia when he can now, which we can return to travel, so he's doing that again as well. So another fun person that is, again, someone I'd just be fun to hang out with. He's a Fuji photographer, so I like that, obviously. I like Joe's presence, his style, the way, again, there's lots of entertainment, a lot of education and inspiration in this channel. I hope you'll give it a try. And then next up, another new one to the list this year, Roman Fox. He also lives in the UK, although he's doing a lot of traveling this year. Just got back from, I think, 4 weeks in Turkey. He's going to be headed to his first gallery show in Nuremberg, Germany, I think this week that this video is released. And then he's going to be doing some more travel throughout Europe and I believe Asia as well. So lots of street photography. He shares a little bit about how he does his packing when he travels, his very, very, very minimalist experience of just two relatively small bags. One is a camera bag and one is a bag for clothes and such. So again, lots to learn here. A really cool street photography views on both moments and locations, paying attention to light. Again, my videos right now are kind of directly inspired the way I do it. The POV stuff, the street photography comes from a combination of Roman and the previous photographer Joe. So kind of the way I approach what I'm doing, I've learned from them. So thank you, gentlemen, for sharing that idea. Next up is another bearded Englishman, Nigel Danson. He's been doing this for quite a long time. A landscape photographer, as you can see, also will lead some trips occasionally. Currently, he's recovering from some back surgery. So it's been a little minute since he's released a video or two, but he should be on the mend and doing well and creating content again very, very soon. I really like his style. Again, it's one of those things, it's a nice video. My wife and I like to watch, Debbie and I watch in the evening. It's just a calming presence. You can watch and just relax and see some beautiful imagery, go along on the journey of the process, and you might learn a thing or two along the way as well. So that's why I really like Nigel. He's one I buy his calendar each year. Other calendar I buy each year is Thomas Heaton's. They're hanging in our bathroom. So it's great to be able to support these folks and both enjoy their art on an ongoing basis, as well as to give them a hand as well. Next up, a bearded gentleman, but not from the UK. He's actually from not far from where I am. He's in Eastern Washington, and this is Nick Page. Again, he's been doing this for quite a while. I notice he's slowed down quite a bit lately in his landscape videos, and I'm not sure I think he's leading some more tours, doing some more hands-on small group workshop kind of things, so less time to do YouTube videos potentially. But he's great at showing very dramatic landscapes. He chases storms a little bit, finds those dramatic, impactful kind of videos beyond your sunset and sunrise photos, a little bit deeper layers, a little more challenging type of photography, which I find helpful to remind me to not just be satisfied with the things I see all the time, but sometimes it's fun to go on an adventure and trying to create some photos. Next up, we have another person who is not in the UK. Faizal Westcott, new to the list this year, is in Boston. He is also sometimes travels with Roman Fox, which I think is how I connected to Faizal originally. But another street photographer, walk around point of view photographer, shares some good thoughts along the way in his videos about process and thinking and inspiration and creativity. Another person I like his style. I like the photos he creates. A couple weeks ago, I did a video where I was thinking about doing reflections, and that was inspired directly by his video. Actually, the one you'll see, the first one on the screen here, A Day of Street Photography with the Fujifilm Xe4. That was a lot of reflection work in Boston. That was like, I want to go do that as well. So you can see why I watch these channels. They're a lot of times they're direct inspiration for things I do to get out. And if I'm stuck on an idea, often I will find them here. So I'm grateful for that. Next up is another Englishman, Jamie Windsor. Jamie is probably the most eclectic channel I follow, and he's so creative. He's a great editor. He does a great building of his stories and includes lots of interesting graphics. Great teaching in his videos as well that I really appreciate. And lots of different subjects. Not any one thing. Sometimes it's street photography, sometimes it's a lesson, sometimes it's a thought about process. So I really like that. I never know exactly what I'm going to get, and I really appreciate that because oftentimes it's exactly what I need. It hits me in a place where it then helps me go do the next thing I want to go do. So really grateful for Jamie. His videos are every 2 weeks, sometimes every month. Not a real consistent schedule, but when they come, they're usually I found really well worth it to me. They're right on what I need. So as you'll notice, Kim is a female, and she's the lone female on this list. And I feel bad about that because I've looked for other female kind of general purpose photographers, landscape photographers on YouTube, and I haven't found a lot. So if you have suggestions, I would really, really be glad to receive those. If you're a female watching this and you do kind of general purpose street photography, landscape photography, or educational photography, and you'd like me to know about your channel, please share that with me. Or if you haven't started your channel yet, you might consider it because there are not a lot of voices out there like that, and I think we all can benefit from that. So Kim's style is very much in tune with nature. I really like her the way she shares deeply personal stories about how what she's doing at the moment is affecting or reflecting what's going on in her life. So she's very vulnerable in what she shares and how she creates. And it's been fun watching her over, I think, about the past 3 years, really progress in both her storytelling, her sophistication of her images, and how YouTube has allowed her to grow as a photographer. So that is just such a fun thing to watch. And I really, really appreciate her perspective and her unique way of creating images in Scotland. Next up is another Englishman, but he lives not far from me as well. He lives up in Vancouver, British Columbia, Adam Gibbs. Adam is been doing this for quite a while as well. He's kind of he has a connection with Nick Page and Thomas Heaton as well. But he does a lot of woodland photography, some landscapes as well, and he creates videos about once a week or so. And his channel is called Quiet Light. So he has a good sense of humor, but it's a different pace of storytelling, relatively slower. You get again this kind of contemplative, meditative aspect to his videos and the photos he creates. So I'm really, really when I'm in the mood for something a little slower and quieter, this is a good channel for me to watch. I've learned a lot, both of some ideas of places to go in the Northwest, some tips and ideas to think about as I'm creating photos, especially in woodland scenes. So again, lots to learn here, lots to be inspired by, and lots to just be, not just, but there's a nice entertainment value here too. That is, even if you don't learn something or get motivated to do something specific, it's just a great channel to watch and to enjoy. So there you have it, my 11 favorite YouTube photography channels. So much to learn here, so much to be inspired and entertained. And again, one of the things I really enjoy about this is, even though it's a one-sided relationship, I feel like I've really gotten to know at least a little bit about these people as I've journeyed with them for the past several years with most of them. And once a week, get to spend a little bit of time with them to learn, be inspired, be entertained, be motivated, to think some new things, both personally, and it also helps me as I hopefully create content for you all in the future. I hope there's something new here for you, or a reintroduction to someone you may have stopped watching in the past. If you have other photographers you think I should add to my YouTube playlist, please leave them in the suggestion below. I really, really appreciate that. It's great to have ongoing content here, to have new and fresh perspectives continually. It's fun to see how my photography has changed, how my YouTube presentation has changed. It helps me grow, and I also hope it helps you grow as well. So I hope you enjoyed this week's video. Thanks so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you in next week's video, which will be, I hope, if all the stars align, will be a first impression video about the Fujifilm X-H2S, which I hope to pick up on Thursday, get a few days to create some new photos with, and have a video out within about 6 days from that. So if you have any suggestions for things you'd like to know about that camera, please leave them in the comments below. I'll do what I can in that first impression video to address those comments. I'm looking forward to it, kind of excited, a little nervous. So hang in there, and look forward to seeing you with that next week. So until we meet again in the next video, stay safe, stay well, and have fun creating photos. Bye for now.